I raise you one indigenous girl boss Voltron.
No, 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 no.
And the MCU achieved.
God, I hate Gary's videos. I just hate them. Jesus Christ. Fuck. I do enjoy making fun of them. I will say that. But, like, these are just atrociously bad. I can't believe he has anybody who seriously follows him. Seriously. If you're a fan of this, like, you need to seriously self-reflect on your life. I don't know what else to say. This is just bad. And if you're watching this and thinking, yeah, Gary, you're speaking my language, dude, fucking, you need to work on your life, man. Like, stop watching this, stop posting negative comments under my shit, and work on your life. I swear to God. Gary, if you think Gary is good at media or, like, teaching you good life lessons, you are going down the wrong path in life, and this path is going to just hurt you later in life. Fucking stop right now and reflect. I swear to God, this is bad shit. Hey guys, I need you to do me a favor. Help me fight the algorithm. Go ahead and hit like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon for new notifications. Thank you. Nerdrotic. Let's talk about Nerdrotic a little bit, because he recently had a threat-ish on his life, and I want to stress, like, don't threaten these guys. Don't do that. But, like, it was this was insanely milquetoast. Let's see if I can still find, I probably have it on here. It's probably in my history, because I looked it up yesterday. I wasn't actually planning on going into it today, but we can, and then we can look over Nerdrotic's response to Echo, because it's been insane and dumb. All right, so essentially, Percival J here posted something that he shouldn't. Obviously, they are a Michael Jackson fan. I can't fault him for that. Michael Jackson's got some bangers, but let's go into the tweet that got attention and got everybody thinking Nerdrotic is, oh no. Here we go. Okay, so the tweet he made was this one. We gotta star this bitch already. And it's Nerdrotic. Echo is awful. Marvel goes off the reservation. I'll just go ahead and say, like, you know, the star. I guess it could mean anything. Obviously, the implication is kill. But, you know, it could mean lots. Maybe he means kiss. He wants to kiss him. Obviously, like, he's not a Nerdrotic fan. But it caused a lot of the chuds to have a reaction to this, because, of course, they love their persecution complex. Because this tweet from a person with... this person has, like, just over 1,000, almost 1,500 followers on Twitter. That means, because he said something like that, what it means is we have to... A content creator with 208,000 subs needs to do a video defending Nerdrotic, because they hate him and they want him dead. Just ridiculous. I do think it's interesting, the reaction to Echo, because if you've seen Echo, I covered it on the podcast if you want my full response, but briefly, I will say Echo is a solid series. Like, I would put it in middle of the... Like, if you compare it to the other, like, Netflix stuff that was produced a few years ago, I'd say it's middle of the pack. It's not as good as, like, Daredevil Season 1 or Jessica Jones Season 1, but it's also, like, a million times better than fucking Iron Fist. I would say Echo was probably on par with something like Daredevil Season 2 or what else? Punisher. Yeah, I'd put it on par with Punisher Season 1. it was a good show, and I don't like, and of course the chuds are freaking out about it. And you know what? Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and go over. I mean, it wasn't just this tweet that triggered all this, because like Nerdrotic's response to Echo has been bizarre this whole time. So let me go ahead and go over that. I actually have that bookmark because I covered it on the initiative back when this happened, when the show came out. So Nerdrotic did this string of tweets talking about Echo. It was really weird. So just when you thought they couldn't go any more MCU, and then this screenshot, which tells me what, she's in a fight, and you see woman's face in fight, and what? And then this, blah ha ha, hashtag MCU, it's time for a queen. Okay, cool. Echo is more like 4.5 episodes with a 30-minute previously on. You see, this is actually a critique. Take out the hashtag MCU part, because MCU is just a sexist thing anyway. Take out that, and this is actually just a critique. Good job. You get one. Well, almost a whole one, because he had hashtag MCU. Echo's powers are lame as fuck. They were better in the comics. Hashtag Echo, hashtag MCU. Again, remove the hashtag MCU, and you have a critique. Because, yeah, her powers, it's not so much they're lame as much as I feel they aren't really well explained. And then, ha 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 ha, he's handing me the queen pin. That was a joke. She was being goofy when she said that. Pay attention, Nerdrotic. It's not that tricky. And then Echo achieves maximum girl boss and defeats Kingpin again. The end. Total shit. I would have liked a bit more of a Kingpin fight, but it was fine. And then at the end, Echo makes Kingpin cry. Okay, so one of the strengths of Echo was actually the relationship between Wilson Fisk and Echo. They really pretty convincingly tell you how Kingpin really cared for her and saw her kind of like almost a daughter. But then you also had the other telling things, like he used technology to sign to her, because he, like, even though he cared for her a lot, he never bothered to learn how to sign to her, so he couldn't talk to her directly. It was interesting how, like, she has so much family who learns to sign pretty much, and friends and family who learn to sign just to talk to her, and then Kingpin, this guy who's almost like a father figure to her, won't even do that. And it's telling. But, like, you know, it's not that he doesn't care as much as he just doesn't see the value in doing that. And then this is just dumb. MCU achieves maximum girl boss, so, like, her powers, which are weird, but, apparently she's able to call upon the past history of her ancestors, and so it's these 4 other women she's calling upon their abilities to become her abilities, and Nerdrotic is upset because there are too many women on screen, I guess. What argument is that? Grow up, dude. Women exist. But anyways, I feel like Nerdrotic's been freaking out about Echo. Let's go ahead and go over. Let's check out that video he does, because fuck it. My job is to go over this chud shit. So, all right, here we go. Echo is awful. Marvel goes off the reservation. Ha 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 ha. Okay, hilarious. Oh, we're definitely gonna get some serious points on Chud Bingo on this one. In fact, all right, we'll Chud Bingo this because this will be easy. Awful. Echo is awful. Marvel goes off the reservation. Immediately in the thumbnail, we got the racism, sexism, transphobia. Let's see. We'll see if he goes into the fight scene, because that will be reliance on distorted footage. Let's see, woke spotting, Kathleen Kennedy. We'll got 3 square for sure. Like, he didn't do the muscly thumbnail, but he almost always does. So I guess he dodged it on this one. Dead eyes. Well, we got dead eyes there. Okay. Reversed over earlier. Woke spotting reliance on dog whistles. Okay, so let's see. We've got a couple just on the thumbnail on that one. So let's dive in.
Well, I'm an actor, so, I have to service the story that's put in front of me. I have to do my best to make the story written work.
Really, I have no act.
That's really awesome, having Vincent D'Onofrio explain how he acts. Like, that's not an own, you know that, right? Like, he's like, yeah, my job as an actor is to do the best job with the story in front of me. Like, he's just, the fuck? Like, Gary, that's his job.
Acting experience.
Being somebody who walks around the world as a hearing person.
Because I remember growing up and watching things on the screen, it was always a white guy who played this superhero, so we need more people of color to be in the MCU.
I think so many people feel like this project might be checking boxes in some way.
Deaf consultants, deaf actors, deaf writers, deaf consultants, deaf writers in the writer's room, deaf and indigenous, deaf consultants, actors playing deaf and indigenous roles, deaf experience, deaf indigenous.
Yeah, and they worked together and they did a totally solid series. So good for them. What's your point, Gary?
Amputee girl.
Deaf community. Deaf
representation.
Deaf representation.
More inclusive.
Representation matters. Indigenous.
Hearing privilege.
Tribal representation.
Indigenous.
Yeah, classy, Gary, classy.
Nerdrotic.com.
You would think after releasing the biggest flop in the MCU's history, The Marvels, Disney Marvel would lay low for a little while, go radio silent, but no.
Well, they actually will be, but it's not. I mean, it's not because Marvel is a flop. It's because they have to reboot a lot of stuff to follow new union rules after the strikes, Gary. You're so goddamn dishonest, I swear to God.
It seems that the criticism coming from all of humanity concerning the MCU has fallen on deaf ears. So join me, you
Nice Rippaverse shirt, by the way.
Over 950,000 Awakening Wonders in the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. Let's review another piece of Disney Marvel content. That's right, despite having some reservations, Marvel went ahead with their big gamble.
Oh, reservations. Oh.
Not sure if you heard, but they released Echo, the ill-fated series that Kevin Feige himself said after its initial shoot was unreleasable, leading to multiple
Well, the actual series was decent, so cool.
reshoots and a massive delay. And still there were rumors that Disney Marvel was considering not releasing it at all. But after Kevin Feige realized he war-painted himself into an identity politics corner, he smoked the peace pipe, trimmed it from 8 episodes to 5 episodes, and dropped it all at once in the beginning of January on 2 streaming services. And it totally wasn't an attempt to boost what will be abysmal streaming numbers. And
Okay. Abysmal streaming numbers. Let's look into these abysmal streaming numbers. Gillo this bomb, guys. So this show Echo premieres at #1 on both Disney Plus and Hulu. After making all 5 episodes available on Tuesday, Marvel Studios' Echo premiered at #1 on both Disney Plus and Hulu platforms. The series marked several firsts for Marvel's show, the first TVMA series developed at the studio, the first time every episode was available to subscribers at once, and the first time a whole Marvel series has been available on both platforms at the same time. It's also the first show under the Marvel Spotlight banner, which the studio describes as a platform to bring more grounded, character-driven stories to the screen, focusing on street-level stakes over larger MCU continuity. While the studio hasn't put out numbers, Echo is doing better than some of the consistently top-performing titles. The series is getting recognition from both the Indigenous and deaf communities for its representation on-screen and off. Deadline's Dominic Patton raved about the show, saying it's exactly what the studio need right now. Echo follows Maya Lopez as she's pursued by Wilson Fisk's criminal empire. When the journey brings her home, she must confront her own family and legacy. Also starring our... By the way, it was great having Graham Greene back. I love Graham Greene. So yeah, I guess the series is doing well, and again, they haven't released the numbers. We don't actually know the numbers. But yes, it is apparently doing quite well. After the strikes, they were supposed to start releasing numbers, but they haven't. It's kind of frustrating still. Yep, it's a failure, though.
The Marvel product without having to do some homework. Echo is a spin-off from an MCU bait-and-switch series, Hawkeye, that nobody watched, that will turn into an
You watched it, Gary. You did a video on it. You watched it.
MCU solo series.
And again, nobody watched it doesn't mean anything. There's plenty of stuff that bombs that is good, and plenty of stuff that makes lots of money that is bad. Doesn't mean anything about quality.
That no one will watch. Okay, except for YouTubers. Based on a Z-list villain from the Daredevil comics that the showrunners felt so passionate about, they completely changed the character. When it comes to Marvel's Echo, director Sidney Freeland.
So wait, it's a villain that turns into an anti-hero? That has never happened in the history of comic books ever. My God, that is unheard of. Are you serious right now, Gary? Have you read a comic book? Fuck, dude.
Made a major decision.
Bait and switch is the term they like to use because they're trying to pretend like the Hawkeye series. They're trying to say that Kate Bishop was the star of the Hawkeye series and it was supposed to be Jeremy Renner. When in reality, they were co-stars because they're both Hawkeye. But, yeah, because woman in something makes it a bait and switch. They call Doctor Strange 2 a bait and switch because they're like, that's Wanda's movie. And it's like, no, she's the villain. Yeah.
Lopez would have different powers than she has in the comics. In an interview with Variety, Freeland didn't want to spoil the changes she made, but made it clear how she felt about the original Echo's abilities. Her power in the comic books is that she can, like, copy anything, any movement, like, any whatever. It's, like, kind of lame. Sydney told the publication, I will, say that's not her powers in the show. To be fair, maybe she misspoke. Maybe she meant make her powers lame, which she did. But we all know why they went ahead with the character Echo. She checks some boxes, but not enough apparently. They needed to add a couple. In the comics, she is a deaf indigenous female, and in the D+ series, she's a deaf indigenous body positivity female amputee. While there's no official word on
what the fuck? What the fuck, Gary? What? Huh? Why? I don't understand. What are you even talking about, Gary? Body positivity? The fuck?
Whether she's gay or not, it's assumed.
No, she doesn't have a relationship in the show. It's not established whether or not she's gay or not. And why the fuck does it matter? It doesn't fucking matter, Gary. Why are people on the right so obsessed whether or not people are gay or straight? Just move the fuck on with your life, man. It's kind of fucking pathetic.
And still, the architect of the MCU, Kevin Feige, thought this was unreleasable. And after I've seen the fixed product,
he did reshoots, and they redid a lot of it, and what came out was good.
He should have stuck with that decision. But again, he can't because he wouldn't get headlines like this. Marvel's Echo, a cultural triumph in native storytelling. Stars of Echo discuss Marvel's indigenous superhero spinoff. Chaska Spencer commends Echo for beautifully handled Native American representation. Echo star.
Well, exactly how many Native American superheroes have we gotten to get, TV series, Gary? Of course they'll talk about this, because they're going to be like, hey, we got a Native American superhero. That's awesome. You know the reason they don't talk about white men being superheroes, Gary? Because they're almost all fucking white men. It's tired.
Are Alakwa Cox on Marvel bringing deaf and indigenous representation to the forefront and why acting in ASL.
Okay, let's see. Surely we can get some more space on Chud Bingo on this one. So, factual errors. He talked about being a bomb. It wasn't. It was successful. Let's see. I feel like he's been pretty clear that it's an anti-woke video. I don't think we really need to dance around that with Gary. Yeah, he's definitely done some woke spotting here. He clearly hates all media being discussed. Let's see. We definitely got some dog whistles going on with Gary. Okay, we're doing some good work on this. Well, we'll have to see. We gotta get it all in a row, guys. We gotta see if we can win this. We gotta see if we can win Chud Bingo with this Gary video, guys. Yeah, I see 2 spaces are available here. 2 spaces are available for this one, too. That might be it right now. Let's see.
Cell was challenging, and it was challenging to watch. Marvel's Echo is an imperfect but wonderfully important show. And why is it important? Well, the answer is obvious and previously stated.
Representation.
Representation, representation, representation.
If you don't believe me, let's go to Marvel, who's taking a page.
Gary, I have something to tell you. Representation matters. You can try to ignore it, but it does. Native American people will watch something like Echo and be like, hey, thank you. Thank you for making us part of the group, part of the conversation. Thank you. And that is a human and reasonable response, Gary. And the fact that your triggered snowflake brain can't handle it says a lot more about you than it does about them. It really does.
Out of the Rings of Power playbook and hear from some super fans who totally aren't influencers.
I love the fact that the main character was deaf and that I got introduced to a whole new world. It was American Sign Language, it was Indigenous history, so it wasn't just an action show.
As a deaf person, I feel very proud to see that on screen.
Nice leading lady vibes, she's very cool.
It's the new MCU.
Someone signing in the middle of a fight was incredible.
So cool. If you're not a Marvel fan, this is a great way to be introduced to the Marvel universe.
Yes, again, it checked.
And you want to know something interesting about all this behind-the-scenes footage Gary's digging out, all this promotional footage? I've actually never fucking seen it before. And you want to know why? Because I wasn't interested, and I just checked out the show when it came out, and I enjoyed it. Gary, if you don't like shit like this, don't fucking watch it. You don't need to watch the promotional footage behind a show to watch the show. In fact, part of the problem with this review is that you haven't fucking talked about the goddamn show. You've talked about news that came out about the show. You talked about fucking promotional footage about the show. Like, you haven't talked about what about the show you dislike. Fucking Gary, can you review a goddamn show? For shit's sake. We're 5 minutes into this. We're like a third into this, and you haven't even brought up anything in the show other than representation, which is just from the fucking publicity around the show. For fuck's sake, Gary, what's the show about? Why does the show suck?
Checks a lot of boxes. Unfortunately, it missed one. Good storytelling. All right, I put this off long enough. Let's talk about
Thank you. Watch, he's still gonna derail this half the time.
Echo, the show about a
deaf Indigenous amputee
body.
Oh, for fuck's sake! For fuck's sake, he's still doing it.
Positivity female.
Why is it body positive? What, is it because, like, she's not, like, supermodel thin? Like, she's an attractive woman, but I guess she's not supermodel thin, and that's not good enough for Gary? She needs to be, like, fucking super sexy or something? The fuck, man? What?
Male superhero. Again, Echo was supposed to be an 8-episode series that was cut down to a 5-episode series, but
Hey, but it was 5 solid episodes. That's good, right? It's better that not overstay its welcome and just be the number of episodes it needs to be good, right, Gary? That's a good thing, right, Gary?
Technically, it's a 4.5-episode series because the first 30 minutes of the first episode are a slightly more fleshed out previously on from a series you didn't watch, Hawkeye. The plot.
It's not 30 minutes. It's definitely part of the episode, and I think it does a good job of flashing back because it feels natural in the storyline to be going over those points. But it's important to do that because that way, like, a viewer can just dive immediately into Echo and not have to watch Hawkeye and not feel like they have to watch Hawkeye to get all the story because they'll explain the key points to you there.
Plot goes something like this. 5 months after the events of the Kate Bishop show, where Echo defeats Hawkeye and kills the Kingpin, the deaf Indigenous body positivity female amputee Maya Lopez is being pursued by the Wilson Fisk organization, leading her to return to her hometown in Oklahoma, where she must completely ignore the misdeeds of her past, including murdering a lot of people on the orders of the Kingpin, reconnect with her Native American roots, endanger her family and community, and embrace her inner girl boss to destroy more male Marvel legacy characters. From the initial trailer that everyone was impressed with.
There's so much there to unpack. Guess we'll just go through each point here real quick as we can. Jesus Christ, Gary. You pack this shit, man.
She must completely ignore the misdeeds of her past, including...
Well, she had misdeeds. It was a past that her father brought her into. And she eventually, she fought Daredevil, and it gave... I don't even know what the point is of this scene. She was in a fight, yes.
Murdering a lot of people on the orders of the Kingpin.
Yes, her dad worked for Kingpin, and she eventually worked for Kingpin when she did decent fighting Daredevil, and Kingpin was appreciative of that. And he also was he would watch over her as a young child, and she grew up in it, dude. She knew nothing else.
Reconnect with her Native American roots and date.
Yes, she's reconnecting with her mother's side of the family because she realizes her father's side of the family is fucked up. Wilson Fisk had her father killed by Ronin. And she's realizing she can't trust that side of the family, so she's reconnecting with her other side of the family. Where else does she have to go, Gary? Literally, where else is there for her to go? I guess she just go on the run? But the whole idea is her reconnecting with her Native American roots. And, this is a logical point. Jesus Christ.
Danger her family and community and embrace her inner girl boss to destroy more male Marvel.
And I think it's also worth noting that she doesn't even know that Kingpin's alive at this point. She's going back to her family because there's no real reason for her to be on the run, because from her perspective, she thought shot Kingpin in the face and that he is dead, and there's no reason to expect retribution because there's nothing to link her necessarily to that. Nobody knows she did it except for Kingpin. She doesn't know he's alive. So there's no reason for her not to go home, Gary. Pay the fuck attention.
Marvel legacy characters.
Listen, you could argue her powers are wonky, but the idea of her reaching back to her legacy, her powers being she can reach back through her legacy and kind of share the abilities of her past relatives is kind of interesting. They don't clearly define it, though. That's the issue. They don't clearly define it.
Initial trailer that everyone was impressed with, Disney Marvel wanted everyone to believe that this would be in the same vein as Daredevil, especially when they touted that mature content warning.
It's not as good as the first season of Daredevil. It's probably about as good as the second season. Second season is wonky, but this has some wonkiness too. But it's good. It's really good overall.
Is a lie.
Aside from a couple of brief scenes, Echo would have been fine on the CW. The only potential violence...
It was actually really well shot. It looked a lot better than the CW shows. So you're just clearly just saying that to imply that to your fans, to let them know, hey, this is bad. Don't look at it like it's decent.
Is to the viewer from being bored to death.
Well, that's the thing about Angry Joe. Angry Joe is not a chud, but he often has... I believe they're his genuine opinions. That's why I don't consider him a chud, but he often has opinions that ally with the chuds. Which is why he frequently has issues with his audience being chuddy, and he'll be like, guys, stop being sexist and racist. Because Angry Joe doesn't go that way, because he's not actually a chud. He just doesn't have great takes on media, in my opinion. I think he's good with video games. I think his video game reviews can be very entertaining, but his movie and TV show reviews are very lacking. But I don't have any animosity towards Angry Joe. I just don't think he's a great critic. No, Gene. I'm not saying you're saying he is. I'm just explaining my feelings towards Angry Joe. I've done it before. Usually, if anybody just happens to click on this video, I will kind of do a bit deeper of a history if I comment on something, just to give everybody caught up quickly. I am not calling you out. I know you're good people.
The first 4 episodes are a slog and not even worth talking about. American Sign Language, or ASL, would work in an indie film or some Oscar bait movie, but not in a superhero show.
I was actually surprised how well it worked. You just kind of forget that you're reading most of the show, and you just kind of get involved. It's cool.
Constantly waiting for the character's ASLR to catch up to what you can read on the screen. It was more like ASLMR. And after that nearly 30-minute previously on, the vast majority of this series is filled with Alaqua Cox's stunt woman riding a motorcycle, excessively long...
Oh my god, a superhero story using stunt people? The fuck? Gary, come on, man. That's Jesus.
Montage scene set to a pop song with characters we don't care about looking sad, repetitive sweeping shots of the same mural, and lots and lots and lots of indigenous representation, only occasionally interrupted by pure cringe.
Kingpin had his run. It's time for Queen. He's handing me Kingpin.
Why? That's right, Maya Lopez, or Echo.
So she got groped and she attacked a guy for groping her, and what part of that is bad? Like, that doesn't seem like bad writing. There are guys who will grope women if they get a chance to, and she's saying, hey, fuck you, don't do that. The fuck?
The hit deaf indigenous female body positive woman who used to work for the Kingpin and now thinks he's dead either wants to take down or take over his organization. Your guess is as good as mine. And as far as those cameos are
he's really stuck on Lil Queen jokes. Jesus.
concerned that director Sidney Freeland teased, well, there's a repurposed Hawkeye cameo from the Kate Bishop show, and yes, Daredevil. In this corner, weighing in at 195 pounds, back in his proper red costume, is Daredevil. Finally facing off against his C-list comic book nemesis, weighing in at a flabby 150 pounds, Echo.
She's not 150, but also, yeah, Gary, Jesus, flabby. God. You guys, like, anytime a woman's not a supermodel, you act like she's ugly. The fuck, man? Grow the fuck up, I swear to God. Like, go touch grass. I don't know what to say. Like, this reaction, like, anytime you don't have a woman with, like, a tiny waist and, like, fucking double D boobs and giant fucking ass, all of a sudden, like, that's, like, an ugly woman? Like, the fuck? Jesus.
Cripple fight!
Hey, cripple. Hilarious, Gary. Hilarious.
Cripple fight! Attention, shoppers. Outside today we have Cripple fight. Cripple fight outside.
He adds weird special sound effects to make it look bad when it's actually a decent fight. Pillar of Garbage. In fact, I might just play his video after this to kind of, as a palate cleanser. Pillar of Garbage has a fantastic video talking about the reaction to this. Check it out. It's great. Pillar of Garbage is great. He's a much more popular YouTuber than I am, so I'm sure you guys are already subscribed. But if you're not subscribed, subscribe to him. He will get. I will give him a little shout out here at the end as well.
After the clearly out of shape Echo stands in with Daredevil for an inexplicable couple of minutes in the
How is she clearly out of shape? Gary! How is she out of shape? Explain this to me. The fuck?
He runs away, never to be seen again for the rest of the show. But enough of
Yes, it was a cameo. He is not a major character in the show.
that. Despite Echo being billed as a return to the gritty, grounded Marvel of old, which Kevin Feige had nothing to do with at Netflix, it ends up not even being a drama. It's just a series of events about indigenous...
You know what? Hey, I think we got an hour space on Chud Bingo, actually. Reliance on distorted footage. There we go. Yeah, we definitely got that one there.
Family. Who are all from the Chatwa tribe. There's Scully, Maya's step-grandfather, played by Graham Greene, who quite frankly is the only good thing in this aside from Charlie Cox's Daredevil, but he only exists to occasionally share some wisdom with the insufferable Echo. There's Henry Lopez.
To occasionally share... Okay, so that's a big part of his role, but, like, we actually see him running the shop. We see how he kind of, like... I don't know if I say a con man, but, like, he pretends to be, like, this very, like... very, very, like, traditional Native American guy to the people who come into the shop when he's not that at all. We get a bit of his character. Graham Greene has some stuff to work with this series, and he is a highlight, absolutely. So I will agree with Gary that he is a highlight. But pretty much I disagree with Gary on pretty much everything else. So I guess we got something we agree on. Yay.
as Maya's uncle, who also works for the Kingpin and owns a roller rink, who doesn't want to help her until he does after being betrayed by his shoe cleaner. The only...
Yeah, he was betrayed by an employee, and then he decides to help her because he got involved. Yes, that's how stories work, Gary.
Person Maya appears to like, but don't quote me on that because I'm not really sure, is...
It's a childhood friend, and I'm pretty sure she's a family relation, although it's not super clear if she's supposed to be a cousin or what. But Gary, no, it's not positioned to be a romantic relationship at all, Gary. They would have to drastically change it to turn into a romantic relationship. Fuck, Gary. Oh my god.
Cousin Bonnie, who only exists to be a hostage, and Cousin Bonnie. Maya's other cousin is Cookies or Biscuits or whatever the hell his name is, who plays the obligatory Disney Marvel effeminate male assistant to our insufferable MCU protagonist.
Effeminate male assistant? He just seemed kind of like the dorky guy who was working with her. For fuck's sake.
Maya's grandmother, Chula, is the only other character who seems...
I see what people are saying. Like, I mispronounce names all the time, and I'm quite bad at it. But it is coming off like Gary is purposely mispronouncing stuff. And obviously, it's impossible to know that he's purposely doing it, but it really comes off that way.
Semi-fleshed out. She's haunted by the death of her daughter. She has some mysterious powers, and she makes Maya's costume. Sorry to go all Chris Stuckman there and basically just say their names and give very little context, but those were the cards I was dealt. This brings us to Maya.
Go Chris Stuckman. You know why Chris Stuckman does that, right? Because the goal is to give as much of your opinion as possible in the review and spoil as little as possible. You understand that, Gary, right? Like, I guess you don't. You just have tendency just kind of... Like, you will go over and, like, just spill out the entire fucking episode or movie sometimes. And it's quite boring lots of times.
Maya Lopez, or Echo. In the comic books, Echo is from the Cheyenne tribe, but the showrunners felt so passionate about giving us an authentic indigenous experience, they changed it to the Choctaw tribe and cast an...
Yeah, Choctaw tribe? Jesus. Fuck Gary. Ugh.
Actress from the Menominee tribe. We learn that the deaf indigenous body positivity female amputee Echo lost her leg in a car accident. As a child...
Would he quit this body positivity shit? For fuck's sake. Grow the fuck up, Gary.
When a shard of glass broke off from the windshield.
Well, Paul, I haven't watched Chris Stuckman in a while, but Chris Stuckman's pretty awesome. I can't fault you for that, Paul.
And I guess the child actress playing the very young Maya...
And Chris Stuckman, unlike this dipshit, actually understands reviewing movies and the art of movie making. And that's the thing, actually, maybe Gary... It wouldn't surprise me if Gary understands it a lot more than he lets on, but he is such a fucking grifter at this point. It's pathetic.
Lopez decided to channel the older Maya Lopez by showing absolutely no emotion when this happens. I doubt the writers of this show know that windshields or windows don't break like that. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's highly...
Yes, Gary, it is highly unlikely, and it happened. For fuck's sake, Gary, it's a superhero show. Highly unlikely things happen in superhero shows. For fuck's sake. God damn it, Gary. Ridiculous? Yes.
Improbable. What would have made more sense is just her leg being crushed in the car accident. Hell, a freak accident at a casino would make more sense than this. But
yeah, you guys remember that scene from Dodgeball that has nothing to do with this? Ha 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 ha. What the fuck, Gary? Holy shit.
Doesn't end there. Remember when I said series director Sidney Freeland said Echo's powers in the comics were lame? Quick reminder, Echo in the comics has photographic reflexes, basically the Taskmaster's powers. Any move she sees once, she can perfectly duplicate. Nothing original, but a hell of a lot better than what the hacks from this show came up with, echoing back to draw powers from past ancestors, and not just any ancestors, female ancestors. And yes, this is where the...
Really offended that's female ancestors? Oh. Gary, you seem
The MCU
like when you get offended just because women are on screen, it really says a lot about you, Gary. Just saying.
Kicks in. Throughout this 5-episode series that feels like 18 episodes, we get flashbacks to previous ancestors, including the first Choctaw girl boss who led her people out of a spa after a mud bath with a woodpecker, followed by the second Choctaw girl boss from 1200 AD who was a female stickball player, who with her tribe had to take on another tribe, which included the very first indigenous anabolic steroid user. Of course, she won the game because this is the MCU, never mind the fact that there were no female stickball players. So much for authentic. The third
Cool. It's almost like the MCU and our universes are not the same thing 100%. It's weird. It's almost like they can be, like, authentic, but they can take some liberties, too, because it's not 100% the same. Is that weird, Gary? Is that weird? Is that weird?
Choctaw girl boss was the daughter of a light horseman, the rangers of the tribe who wanted to be a light horseman but couldn't because she's a girl. But she does it anyway because this is the MCU and saves all the men from the evil white men with a few easy shots and that signature Disney Marvel female protagonist smirk.
Well, you also realize that was done in the form of a satellite movie, so it was also perfected a bit because of the format in which they told that story. Gary, I'm impressed how you ignore stuff.
Fourth Choctaw girl boss is Chula, Maya's grandmother, who had a fatherless pregnancy and gave birth to the fifth girl boss, Maya's mom, who was also deaf, and indigenous Jesus, who possessed the powers of healing.
Yes, so the deafness was apparently a genetic thing because Maya was born deaf. The loss of the leg came later. Cool.
Healing. And you guessed it, in the Choctaw tribe, only women can draw on the power of other women in a time of need, but apparently...
Oh no, that women, oh fuck, oh, that's scary. Oh, women scare me. God damn it, Gary, I don't care. Listen, if you want to criticize her because her powers are a bit nebulous, I'm right there with you. But like complaining that her powers are too female-based or whatever the fuck, you lost me, okay? No, that's not an issue.
Apparently, they sat it out when the Choctaw tribe was moved from Mississippi and Alabama to Oklahoma. And I guess they have no problem helping out the unrepentant sociopathic murderer Maya Lopez. At no point in this show...
I doubt they know her full history. Holy shit.
Does Maya Lopez try to atone for her past, which is a bit of a moral quandary for anyone who lives outside of modern Hollywood. It's tough to follow around a protagonist who can't talk, can't emote, can't act, and who is completely...
She did all right emoting. Like, I think the fact that she isn't a super experienced actress did show a bit, but like, I think she did all right. And I think complaining that she can't talk is a terrible thing, especially, like, brought up in chat earlier. Godzilla -1, Gary, you were praising the fuck out of that movie, and that was a movie that was mostly had to be read, and now here's a TV show where a lot of it has to be read. Can you fucking read, Gary? Is that an issue? Do you need to learn to read? Like, what is the issue, dude?
Unlikable. To be fair, any morality is a quandary for modern Hollywood because they lost the ability to pretend to decipher right from wrong a long time ago. Anyway, this brings us to the one sole character anyone would even consider watching this show for. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. Arguably, Disney Marvel's greatest villain was completely destroyed in the Kate Bishop show, and he returns to Echo to get destroyed some more. Somehow, Kingpin being shot...
How? I guess we'll see.
Nearly at point blank in the eye, does he return to reestablish his empire and exact bloody vengeance, or does he come back to win the heart of the daughter who's not his daughter, who just so happened to try to kill him by begging her forgiveness, offering Echo his empire, and making her the Queen Pin? If you guess the latter, you're smart and you know your MCU. But it doesn't end there. At one point in the series, Kingpin asks Echo to kill him with the hammer he killed his father with, and she says no. After
Gary, do you not realize how awesome that scene is? That is the scene that canonizes the Daredevil Netflix show. It canonizes it because that is the hammer from that show. So Netflix Marvel is canon with the MCU right now. And Echo just canonized it. And you're just going to blow past that. Oh, fuck, I don't care. Jesus, Gary.
After Maya spurns Kingpin's offer of seppuku, this is where Echo goes from just a boring show to full-on MCU cringe.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
In the final battle, Kingpin brings his army to attack a local powwow to get Maya back. I'm not kidding. And if you didn't think things could get any worse with Gaia at the end of Secret Invasion, I raise you one indigenous girl boss Voltron.
No, 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 no.
And the MCU achieved.
God, I hate Gary's videos. I just hate them. Jesus Christ. Fuck. I do enjoy making fun of him. I will say that. But, like, these are just atrociously bad. I can't believe he has anybody who seriously follows him. Seriously. If you're a fan of this, like, you need to seriously self-reflect on your life. I don't know what else to say. This is just bad. And if you're watching this and thinking, yeah, Gary, you're speaking my language, dude, fucking, you need to work on your life, man. Like, stop watching this, stop posting negative comments under my shit, and work on your life. I swear to God. Gary, if you think Gary is good at media or, like, teaching you good life lessons, you are going down the wrong path in life. And this path is going to just hurt you later in life. Fucking stop right now and reflect. I swear to God, this is bad shit.
Achieves maximum girl boss today, and Maya can even pass on her powers. Even Grandma gets a shot in. And the unrepentant murderer defeats the Kingpin again by taking away his childhood trauma and making him cry. And this completes.
Kingpin has always been a very emotional character. Did you miss the scene in Daredevil where he smashed a guy's head in a car door for interrupting his date? What makes Kingpin such a scary character, and what Vince D'Onofrio does with him that's brilliant, is like he is cold, he is calculating, he is smart, but he is also emotional, and you don't know when he's just going to fucking blow up on you and just destroy you, just right the fuck there, without any second thoughts. Jesus.
It's another chapter of Disney Marvel's hero's journey, where the hero was great all along. All Maya had to do was go back home and talk to her grandma to reconnect with her powers. And that's pretty much it. What did we learn? Disney Marvel still sucks, and indigenous people can now see their authentic selves in an unrepentant murderer. Despite all that, I still have some...
Is she unrepentant? I guess we could have explored that more, and it wouldn't have been bad, but, like, I think the series was decent on its own, and it does give possibilities for later storylines, Gary.
Questions. Why in the hell would this security guard feel up Maya? No offense.
Because he's a fucking perv. Because pervs exist in real life, Gary, for fuck's sake. Oh my God.
Why did Daredevil flee a crime scene with somebody who was still awake who just committed a murder without at least questioning Maya? To be fair, it's not like she was gonna talk. How did the guy who stood toe-to-toe with Kingpin, the Punisher, Bullseye, and 100 ninjas have a hard time with a flabby 150-pound...
So this fight was what Kingpin saw that really impressed him about her, because that was the point of the fight. The point was to establish that she can hold her own with Daredevil. Jesus Christ, Gary.
Girl, where were the Choctaw ancestors during that whole Manifest Destiny thing? How did a deaf body positivity amputee jump around a train before she connected with her powers? And why?
Because she's very capable and very... Oh, God. Damn it, Gary, for fuck's sake. How can a blind lawyer jump around buildings, Gary? Because it's a comic book show, for fuck's sake.
Hell would you do Kingpin dirty like that by having him defeat...
Okay, so, like, I thought the way he was defeated was weak in this show, But I thought the strength here was still very much Maya and Kingpin's relationship was really fucking well handled here.
Again, did Disney learn nothing from Kylo Ren and Kang?
Nope.
And I guess the big...
Kylo Ren and Kang? What the fuck does those have to do with anything, Gary? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Kingpin... Fuck. Oh my god. I just don't even know what the fuck point that is. You're just name dropping at this point. Be like, see, these other things weren't handled perfectly, so this bad too. Like, what the fuck?
Biggest question of all is, why in God's name would you release this, especially after the Marvels completely flopped? All jokes aside...
Marvels did flop, and Echo... As far as we can tell, based on all current information, and Deadline is a fairly reliable source, Echo is not flopping.
What Disney is doing overall isn't doing anyone any good. I don't blame Alaqua Cox or any of the actors. Some of the blame definitely goes to the writers, but most of it goes to Kevin Feige. Disney Marvel doesn't know up from down, good from bad, or right from wrong. Want an example? Yesterday, they decided to release a deleted scene from the Marvels where Valkyrie thinks the 16-year-old Miss Marvel is married to Captain Marvel and then makes a little joke at the end.
Hello? Oh, Captain, my Captain. Oh, you're not my Captain.
Captain Marvel resident, this is Miss Marvel speaking.
Wait, Mrs. Marvel. She got married again, and no invite again.
No! I'm Ms. Marvel.
So it was a misunderstanding and a joke. For fuck's sake, Gary.
Well, we're not married, that would be... I'm single.
Okay.
5 seconds to the jump point.
Oh, you might want to triple. I mean, trip in. Oh, you might want to triple. Oh, you might want to triple.
Gary, that's not what she meant, for fuck's sake.
What did you say?
It's kind of tough to argue that bad reputation that Disney has earned. They're not just leaning into the South Park meme, they're bathing in it. And soon the investors will be walking the Trail of Tears. And once again, thanks to our latest installment in the MCU, it's clear to absolutely everyone, including Disney, that Marvel has gone off the reservation.
It's a different feel compared to what the other MCU stuff that we've seen.
Nerdrotic.com.
If you like what...
Okay, where did we get on Chud Bingo? Let's find out. We didn't get... I don't think we got any cringe pictures. We didn't get Kathleen Kennedy. Brie Larson or She-Hulk we didn't get that. We did get a little bit of Brie Larson in the video, but not in the thumbnail. Nothing about Last Jedi. So Kylo Ren, we'll count that for Last Jedi. He did randomly mention that. Let's see, what else? Guys, help me out too. Does he say woke? I don't know if he says woke in this video. It'd be weird if he didn't. Let's double check though. Yeah, I don't think he said woke in this video. Wow, that is impressive. He usually does. No bounding in the comics. Host has fashy politics on second channel. I actually don't know if Gary does have fashy politics on a second channel. Rachel Ziegler. Weird fishy. I don't think we can win Chud Bingo on this. I don't. Reversal of earlier woke exploding. I will say normal thing painted as smoking gun. I will give it that. Fuck. We didn't win Chud Bingo on this one. Gary is usually a winner. Or winning at Chud Bingo, I would imagine. But yeah, I would say, guys, he doesn't deserve being threatened or anything, but that video was a piece of shit video. It was. I don't have anything else to add to it. It was atrociously bad. So that is Gary's video. I don't agree with anybody who's threatening him, but I also don't think it's anything that substantial. They blow up over minor shit, so I don't think it's anything huge. But also, I guess I would just say don't threaten him, but I don't think you guys or anybody who would watch this would. But also, he also shouldn't be a racist piece of shit, too. So, like, other people, don't threaten Gary. Gary, don't be a racist piece of shit. Seems reasonable. Like, he does need called out more, because that was really fucking bad.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.